apologies ahead of time. I have a fan going, trying to disperse some heat into this room, but yeah, I'm gonna have to pick up where I left off. I know I forgot to save that video. I'm just starting out on this, but we're learning. So, got all these applique pieces finished for this hat. And now is the process of, I like to sew all of the darts on the pieces that I'm working on first, and then makes it easier to piece all of these together, especially when I have applique pieces and lines that I need to line up perfectly. So gonna start pinning on that, and we'll jump over to my sewing machine and get these all sewn up. Really hoping I can, which for reference, it's part of the hat for this guy. I got was fitting the helmet part here, which I'm hoping to make it connect with magnets, because it was requested for this character for the hat and the shirt and such to be removable. So I was trying to think of good ways to make it so it'll stay without too much impact on the appearance of the plush. So I figured, hey, I'm going to give magnets a try. I actually, pretty often, if I'm doing a pattern that I'm used to, I actually don't end up pinning the darts, because I become just so familiar with how they're supposed to sit, and which these pieces don't think I'm going to end up. Yeah, those are pretty simple ones. These don't have darts. That one's got a pretty simple one. Okay, and I think that's all the ones I want to pin. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these, and I'm going to hop over to the sewing machine and get these sewn up, and then we can start pinning all these pieces together and getting everything lined up. So, see you over there. Come back, piece. Got all the pieces for the rest of the arm to work on later. Still waiting on something before I can make the rest of the arm pieces, which I'm really hoping it comes today. So now I'm gonna hop over to the desk so then I can get these all pinned together. So hop over there. Okay. Get these all laid out from back to back one, back two, front two, three back, three front, one front, four back, four front. Okay. So I'm gonna get the front pieces all pieced together and then the back pieces all pieced together, and then I can get them all together at the same time. So let's see. Because this two front right there. How did this line up? Is it? Okay, yep. So that lines up onto there. Okay, here comes the fun part. I'm getting all these pieces lined up. Really? It might make sense after I start doing it, I guess. Wait a minute. Okay. That makes more sense. Okay. It's like a puzzle. And I was sitting there going, that didn't feel right. That looks a lot closer. There we go. Okay. Pull some of this stabilizer because that's less bulk to deal with later on. Those are pinned. And I'm going to get these other two. So we've got nice. Let's see. Right. Oh yeah, because this is all me facing that way. That makes sense. Okay. So luckily I don't have too much to line between these two. pinned. Might as well get these ones pinned because it's ear back 1, ear back 2, and that one. So like that. Okay, easy enough. There, because I can kind of shift these edges. Oh, that looks like it's lining up really nice. Ooh, sorry. Oh, it just gets a little excited when things line up really nicely. Kind of little buzzy brain ASMR effect of just all's right in the world just for a second. Okay, and then these guys. That's just right there, so okay. Yeah. Okay, so I got all those pinned, so I'm gonna go ahead and hop over to back to the sewing machine. Bobbin ran out. Oh, let's see. Where did my big spools of black thread go? Bear with me. There we are. That sometimes that happens. Like machine. Just know if I don't do it, it's gonna cause problems later on. Might as well do it now. Do a bunch of reverse sewing, as my mother will always call it whenever we had to get the seam ripper out. further in my sewing room. We'll be right back. You're not supposed to be in here. And he's back. Ooh. Hey! You need to get out. Out. There we go, that's making more sense. I'm sure to me more than anybody else, but because then that lines up into there. Oh, and before I go too much further, because it is cotton, it doesn't stretch as much, you want to go snip along the curves, because then you're going to get a much smoother look to the piece when it's inside out. And also, I don't like how that one's lining up, so I'm gonna adjust that. That'll look a lot better, so I'm gonna leave that pin in there, go ahead and pin the rest, and I'll just touch up that spot when I go to sew the other things. want to go sew a little bit further in that spot too, just to make sure that my mark disappears. Sorry, I'm not used to working with the camera. Okay, so this one goes there we go. Okay. Yeah. And, oh, almost forgot. Yeah. And this one's especially feeling like it needs it. Ooh, I like how that one lined up. That's very nice. Okay, now let's line up one here. Sorry about that. My cat's trying to get in the room again. Hey. No, go away. You're not supposed to go in here. Ooh. Alright, we're all pinned. Let's go over to the sewing machine. Alright, and we're pinned. Back to the sewing machine. The fun part of turning it inside out.
Oh.
What? What are you laughing at?
Why is the board there?
I'm trying to keep the cat from getting in here. Which, heads up, I'm
Is he just jumping over it?
He was pushing through. I'm streaming right now though, so just as a heads up. Yeah, no, I was trying to dissuade him from coming because he kept on coming in. So
Is it warming up in there?
it is warming up, yeah. I really try to keep my cats out of here because I don't like them getting their fur on my fabric, and also I worry about them getting into thread and chewing on it and eating stuff that they shouldn't, and I have feathers that they're constantly trying to steal. Oh, see? Not doing that on camera. Just realized I'm not on camera. And it just makes me feel better to make sure that I don't have cat fur on the fabric that I use to make my plushies, because I know some people have allergies, and I really don't want to put anybody at risk. Great, here comes the fun part. Turn this inside out. Well, let's see. to the hat. I'm gonna add a little bit of stuffing into the tips of this, just to make it nice and poofed, because I know some of it is going to get poofed from the horns and the ears going into the hat, but I really want to make sure that the very tip of it is decently poofed. Alright, let's see if I have to make any adjustments. So, definitely will need more stuffing, but it's cute. Oh, that's looking really cute. Oh, I'm excited. Yeah, I definitely gonna do a lining to keep this all smooth and help keep it poofed up. But this is turning out super cute. I'm very happy with that. So I just gotta make the other ear, but figure for the rest of the stream I have one hand sewn, and then I was gonna do at least get this other thumb put on, and then I'm probably gonna end the stream there. I figured I'd start in just little bits here and there, because I'm not really used to this process, and I don't know, maybe people might start getting interested in watching and joining in and stuff later on, but yeah, so short, sweet. Maybe I can save up and get some better equipment, but I got what I got for now. At least I can do some. It's not too bad of a beginner setup, I feel, but I'm not used to not having a show on in the background too when I'm sewing. It's I'm kind of, I don't, music's not quite enough for me. I need some kind of a story going on. Otherwise, it's just boring. I don't know. And I don't know, kind of think it'd be kind of nice too if if people start watching this stream, that having people to talk to actually would be kind of nice while I'm doing this. No little hand. These are gonna have little golden claws on it. I'm gonna try to. But just for reference too, so here's the body. I'm doing teddy bear joints on this character, so the arms are also going to have joints so then they can move. Kind of a posable type deal. Pretty fun. It's fun to incorporate, but it's kind of limiting of what characters you can do with them. This character was perfect for setup. Also, I got something set up for the head to be able to turn here, but I'm kind of waiting to finish putting the head on because I gotta unstuff this head because I need to insert magnets into the spots that I need for the hat to connect to, which for that I got these small but very strong magnets, which I was kind of testing. Let's see. got some pretty good strength though. I haven't really I'm gonna definitely test out, see how much materials, but actually I'm gonna do that right now. I might as well. Just to be sure that these magnets are, I've got a scrap piece of inky here. Oops, my magnets. No, very tiny magnets. I didn't want to do anything too big. Let's see, I got scrap material there. There should be another. Here, I'll just fold this over a couple of times. The downside of these being so tiny. Don't know if that's gonna quite be strong enough with that. And I might have to play around with more magnets. Oh, hi, sorry, just noticed you. Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, this is about the second time that I've done streaming at all, and yeah, so it's still a little weird, but glad I'm not the only newbie here. Fortnite and Call of Duty with your 16-year-old boy. That's amazing. I have a 2-year-old daughter that she joins me in the sewing room pretty often, but it's pretty nice when I can get a little bit of a break because she really likes to have a show on. So, but thanks for joining in. I really appreciate it. I appreciate that. I'm not used to talking while I work, so that's like one of the newest aspects to it. Well, and especially I guess it's a lot easier when there's actually somebody present. So, but I guess that narrating what I'm doing is a good way of practicing too, which I'm working on this guy. Oh, yeah, it's my husband out in the living room. He's playing with my little girl out there, so I have to have the door open right now because we have the fireplace going, and it gets really cold in my sewing room, so. Oh no, you're great. Yeah, he's kind of like a jester character. It's a custom plush that I'm making for somebody, and which I love original characters. They wanted the hat to be removable, so. You too. Thank you so much. But okay. But yeah, my magnets. I might need some. These are bigger. That's gonna be harder to. Magnets. Okay. I may have these. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna have to. I think I might have to invest into stronger magnets because yeah, these are all too bulky. Yay. No bother at all. I really appreciate it, actually. Like I said, this is my only second time streaming, and it's actually, like I said, it feels silly if you talk and there's nobody there. So I don't know, just knowing somebody is there listening actually makes me feel slightly less crazy talking. But I'm gonna definitely have to invest in some stronger magnets because I like how small some of these tinier ones are. They're gonna be easier to hide, but I do not trust how well these are holding with the fabric. Unless the multiple, okay, multiple, I know it's such a, and of course I'm working with the tiniest thing in the world on camera. uh, get these separated. Ah! Okay. Okay. 2 layers. Maybe these will work. Okay. Ah, you know. It's just interesting because with the weight of the hat, but I did make it tight around the horn, so it might hold okay there. Oh, well, this is definitely going to be an experiment, but, you know, I'm going to learn something new, right? No, I'm not. I am not annoyed at all. I, like I said, I actually feel slightly less crazy, just talking, because I'm not used to just talking. I'm not somebody that usually talks to myself, so, I just have the inner monologue going, and then maybe bits and pieces might slip out, but I'm gonna get that needle off here so I have one less pointy bit hanging around. But I think I might start, because I need to make the other ear now, and luckily I don't have as much patterns to have to match up as this ear. That was the biggest pain that was going to happen with this one. So, because it's like a harlequin, so the other ear is going to be red. And whoop, get that out of the way. Let's see. The goes that way with the yeah, I'll want the pieces face that way because fabric needs to, especially with wovens and knits, you have to do a certain direction on the fabric. Otherwise, it gets pulled all weird. Let's see, that's back, so that's gonna. It's like especially important with like garment making with the direction that I'm completely blanking on the name of the term, but it makes a huge difference when you're making clothes. If you don't do it right, then things will sit wonky, and I've made many a cosplay where I've completely gone the wrong direction with fabric. It made an Anna from a Frozen costume, and my skirt was a hot mess because I did not follow that rule. these guys because I had to trace with the other ones because of the applique. With this one, it's a lot of, I don't know, you see on the pattern pieces, I had to draw some matching, but nice thing about that is I can just sew that on once this is mostly sewn together. And not have to, that way I'm saving myself with having to do a lot of edge matching. So it's like I usually work with it's called Minky or Cuddle. It's this really soft fabric. That's what like this is, and there's like a pile that you have to follow because there's, it's kind of like if you pet a cat the wrong direction, the cats have a pile. The pile runs like down their back, and if you pet them in the wrong direction, then it makes the fur stick up all strangely. So if you want to think about the pile of Minky, and that comes into again of what direction you cut your pieces in, because it gives an interesting effect. Like a difference of color, because if the pile is pushed the wrong direction, then it can look darker. So when I am taking pictures, my husband helps a lot whenever I'm taking pictures of finished plushies. I have him hold it, and then I have to go back through and just pet the plushie so it looks all smooth and not have any of the piles sticking up in a weird way, which I always find it very funny because he just kind of gives me side eye while I'm running around petting the plushie as he's holding it, and he's just very much of a, is this really necessary? It's like, no, it really is. I'm not just petting it because I love them. All right, so should be all the pieces for this hat, or the other ear at least. This, I chopped some of the seam allowance because I was trying to make it easier to piece it together. So I have to pay attention to that. I don't usually do that, but with crazy builds like this, that, like I said, it's trying to figure out all these pattern lineups and such, I gave myself a little assistance with that. I'm going to mark these though, so that's easier to see how those go together. And I cut my seam allowance there too. sure I sew this in reverse of the last ear, because otherwise I'm going to have two ears on the same side. I usually will cut things out at the same time, so I have two mirrored versions, but since I had the two colors and one with applique and one without, it didn't make sense to do that, because I have to wait until the pieces are all embroidered before I can cut the pieces out. Sounds like my husband's gonna take little girl outside soon. She loves running around outside, which is kind of cold right now, but that does not seem to bother her one bit. I kind of love it. Pretty nice is having any comparison to ASMR, because I mean, I know I love to watch crafting videos, and I really like woodworking videos, and funnily enough, I actually enjoy the sound of the saws and stuff. Oh, I'm going to define that a little bit more, just so I know. But I like occasional woodworking projects too. So I don't know, maybe I haven't had much of a chance to do it recently, because little girl's just been too small and time, but you know, if she gets bigger, then I guess I can do that. Was doing some work outside with little girl yesterday, and I was cleaning out this pot that had a plastic bag in it full of dirt, and I didn't want the plastic bag sitting there, so I pulled the bag out, was tossing it out, and getting the dirt back in, and I found a worm, and I was showing it to a little girl, and she got really excited, and I let her hold it, and she held it in her hand, and she's actually very gentle when it comes to holding bugs and stuff. had her practice when she was even smaller with like I'd find dead ladybugs and I'd let her hold the dead ladybugs, and so she's very good about not smashing things in her hand. But eventually it was time to let Wormy go, and she was heartbroken. She loved that worm. So yeah, she very quickly felt some loss with that. But Wormy has a very nice bucket of dirt that he's probably keeping himself warm during these cold months. And but yeah, my kid has no fear of bugs. I'm quite happy on that aspect. Pull most of these pins out. But I think with this though, I think I'm going to finish up for this stream because and make sure little girl's been fed. Oh yeah, I gotta start working on dinner. But thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it so much. Please follow. It feels weird to ask for subscribe quite yet because this is only my second stream, but I really appreciate anybody that gives me a watch. But yeah, I make all sorts of things. Come see what I'm working on. Thank you. Bye.